Hey everybody, it is Tony freaking Fonte. How you doing? Welcome to the Tony freaking Fonte show. Yes, that intro is not how it typically is. Because right now the message I'm about to share is very raw and very real, and just actually thought I got my emotions under control, but I can feel them coming back up now as I get ready to speak this. And so I'm just going to share this message with y'all. I'm going to try to get through it. I will get through it. I will say that. I'm not trying to get through it. I will get through it. It just may take longer than normal. But so I'm just trying to process my thoughts here. So I'm going to share as I'm processing. So last Wednesday into Thursday, and I'm going to preface something that's been going on for a couple months, but last Wednesday into Thursday. So last Wednesday I woke up and I was going through my memories on Facebook, and a memory popped up of Jen. And if you don't know Jen, that's my wife who died. And a memory popped up where she shared stuff to my page of pictures of us in Florida and Orlando the week before she died. And as of now, I'm thinking and processing more. I'm not even sure how that showed up when she shared that on my page, because it was the week before she died that she shared those. And these are obviously in April, because when our memories are shared, it's on that day. But it showed up. And then grief came to visit again. And I felt this deep sadness. And I remember just saying, looking at the picture and saying, thank you for these. I miss you and I love you. And as emotional as that was, it gets even more emotional. Because all of a sudden, right after that, because when you have the gifts and you're open and you're aware as I am, things just pop to you. And a word, sometimes it's statements, sometimes I know exactly, but sometimes it's just a word. And the word betrayal popped in my head. And I remember I just started crying over that. And I didn't have the full details yet, but my soul knew what that meant. And then shortly after that, stories attached to that word began to surface, where I felt like I betrayed Jen. And when I first started, dating after Jen died, I had that feeling, but this was different. And it actually goes back to, well, there's a couple things. But it goes back to, because I got remarried after Jen died, 2 years after Jen died, and it was a very, it was a toxic relationship. She was toxic, I was toxic. It was just a mess. It was a nightmare. But I'm grateful for that relationship, because that relationship is what actually woke me up and began me on this journey to where I am, sharing my story and helping others share their story. So I'm very grateful for her and that moment, because I would not be here had that not happened, had that opportunity happen, as everything happens for us, not to us. But I go back to that time where I not only felt like I lost myself in that relationship, as I have in many relationships, but because I didn't really love myself, and because I was seeking love outside of me, and even though that relationship wasn't healthy, and we both knew it, I felt that if it was gone, that love was going to be gone. And because of her struggles, she was jealous of Jen. Yes, jealous of someone who was deceased. And so I would say things to please her, or do things just to please her. And I couldn't really grieve just to please her. And that's where I felt like I betrayed Jen. Well, one of the areas. So I just left it at that for the moment. And I really didn't get into it until later on that night. Because I was finally having some peace for the day. And I didn't want to be a spiritual hustler for the moment. I was trying to sit back and say, all right, I'm not working on anything. I feel some peace. I'll get to that and work through that later. And then that evening, as I typically do, I was watching Friends, because I have the whole set thanks to my wife Jen, who left me pretty much all the seasons of Friends. And I was watching the episode of, at the very end, where Ross and Rachel get back together, if you know the show. And they're like, this is where I want to be. And it's like they're happily ever after. I remember tearing up a little bit going, what the hell? And I remember saying and thinking, I want a happy ever after. And that brought me back, and I realized over the last 2 months, really, that I've really become aware of it, I have put this heavy, heavy guard up over my heart. As I started, and it's a protection mechanism, and I realized that I was starting to really have this guard over my heart. And it was fear-based. And then as I was dealing with this betrayal piece, I started realizing that there was more and more to this. The fear of losing myself. The fear of Kylie not being accepted. The fear of Kylie being hurt. The fear of me being hurt. The fear of my insecurities, toxicity, and all that other stuff coming back in a new relationship. The fear of not honoring Jen again. Man, so many fears. The fear of, will she be healthy? The fear of, will I be healthy? The fear of, I got to be making a certain amount of money before I can do that? All these fears. The fear of, will I lose Kylie in this? How will that go? Because I've worked so hard over the last 5 years to have this relationship. And how's this whole dynamic? And it's just all this uncertainty. And as I was trying to work through it, instead of working through it and pushing through it, I actually put this guard up. And many times we do this, we want to move forward. But instead, we put a guard up. And because I had all these fears and I didn't want to actually jump into the fear, actually move into the fear, because that's how we overcome. We move into the fear. And embracing the fear and embracing that uncertainty, I just said, well, I'm going to step back here and I'm just going to be on this spiritual merry-go-round, the spiritual roller coaster, and have all these lessons come up without having to go into it, where the magic is, where the beauty is, where the amazing miracles happen within a relationship. Will I be able to provide and love the way I really want to, and the way that I know how, but yet I was stuck back here and I allowed the fear to control me. So after that moment, it was all supposed to happen. I just feel more and more that I was actually seeking Jen's approval to move forward. And as I was sitting there in my tears, I felt Jen's presence. And she whispered in my ear. This is where I'm going to try to keep it together. She whispers in my ear. Tony, you want to honor me? This is how you honor me. Love the amazing woman that's going to come into your life. Like you always wanted to love me, but couldn't, and didn't know how to. You always had it in you, but you were so consumed by your pain and anger and suffering. You didn't know how. But now you know how. You've worked so hard on you to become the best man and dad you can be for Kylie, for our daughter. You know how to love. You're just letting fear hold you back. So honor me by honoring the amazing woman that is about to show up in your life. And you know how else you can honor me? By showing Kylie what a healthy relationship looks like. You've shown her for 5 years how a dad is to connect with their daughter and build an amazing relationship. And that is going to help her choose. But now it's time to take it to the next level and show her what it's like to be in a loving, healthy, honoring relationship. Knowing what I know about how powerful women are, the divine feminine and divine masculine and how they work. Knowing what I know about myself and all the healing I have and all the tools that I have and I've learned. Yeah. So, that is what I'm going to do. I didn't really need her approval, but I did. I was seeking her approval. To be able to move forward. To be able to honor her. To be able to honor her through my daughter. And be able to open my heart to allow her in. But to embrace the fear that I've been wanting to embrace. But didn't have the courage at the moment. Until now, even doing this video, I resisted doing this video. Because of sharing this vulnerability, because of the emotional state behind it. But I felt inspired to begin sharing it because I knew not only was it going to help me open my heart, I know that it's here to serve other people, because there are countless people hurting and struggling right now. They want their soulmate. They want to find this amazing woman or man. They want to allow that into their lives. They're seeking it. But yet they have this guarded heart. And no matter what you have going up on here and what you desire here, if your heart is not open to it, you will push it away. Because we're the creators of our reality. And so, yeah, kind of lost for words right now. But moving forward, I know this is going to serve many people. And I'm going to be honoring my wife who passed. And I'm going to be honoring my daughter. And I'm going to begin opening my heart to allow him, to allow love to flow. Whew. Thanks for being with me. Thanks for supporting me. I hope this has served you. And if you are one of these that have been struggling with it, I hope this reaches you. And if you know anybody that can be served by this, I ask that you just share it, so they can benefit from this as well, because that's why I'm here, and that's what my purpose is, and that's what I'm doing. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for being here with me. Allow me to share this message with you. And as I move forward, yeah, thank you.